Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people, where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe, galaxy, and the Bahamas. Today, let's go talk to Labron Minnis. LeBron, I forget how we got in touch in the first place, but I understand that you're a great Aaron's Opinion fan. You're a DJ. You've done a lot. You do a lot every day, and you want to share your life story on the podcast. So, of course, I'm going to mute my microphone after I ask you the question I've asked everybody else. Who is LeBron Minnis? Tell me your life story. Go.
All right, thank you so much, Aaron, for having me on here. I really appreciate it. Um, yes, my name is Labron Minnis, and I am a blind DJ. I'm a blind musician. I play the keyboard slash piano because they both have piano keys. Um, and I play the accordion, which is another instrument that has piano keys on it, and they have versions that have buttons instead of the piano keys. But yeah, um, so basically, I now play for people. They like my playing and they pay me for it. So that is what I do now after I graduated from my school, which was a school for the blind that I attended. And yeah, that's basically what I am doing currently. That's what I'm currently doing. But um I like to be on podcasts like this because it gives me the chance to show other blind people like, hey, this is what we can do. And because I can do this, you can do it too. You just have to put your mind to it. Whatever you're comfortable doing, follow your lead. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And I'm pretty sure that my man Aaron here can attest to that, right, Aaron?
I can attest to it. You're absolutely correct. Yes, certainly, LeBron. And by the way, I have to say that I absolutely adore the accordion. That's literally like my favorite sound when I go to France because I go to France a lot. I love the accordion. That's like literally one of my favorite things is hearing the accordion, man. Yeah, yeah. Well, really good. What can you tell us about, your schooling? Now, as you've probably come to understand over the years, we have a lot of listeners and audience members from Jamaica. And in Jamaica, there's a Salvation Army School for the Blind. So did you go to a school for the blind like the Salvation Army School in Jamaica, or does the Salvation Army have a school in the Bahamas? What can you tell me about, the education there, your educational experience?
Yes, I went to school at the Salvation Army School for the Blind over here. Yes.
Okay, good, cool. What can you tell us about it, though? For the listeners that are not so familiar, maybe can you walk through some of your experiences at the school? What was it like for you at the school for the blind? Yes.
They showed me how to cook. They showed me how to do all types of independent skills that you would do as a blind person. Usually that is because I know some people who still depend on others to help them with these tasks. Um, Probably from deriving the point that, hey, these people can't do this on their own, which I completely understand. Everybody's different. But speaking from my personal interaction with the school, um, my experience wasn't all that bad. I took national exams because I told them that, initially they wanted me to do Braille stuff,
Right.
and I couldn't do Braille exams very well. And when I did them, the person who was interpreting them into print and stuff like that, they had challenges. So I told them, hey, let's do a computer direction, take a computer directional approach to this. And they did that, and I was the first student to do it, and it was a success. I passed all four exams. I got an A in one, and I got three B's, so it was really nice.
That is really
And
nice. Yeah.
yeah, those
Excellent.
exams were social studies, health science, um, English, and math. It was
Hmm.
really nice. Yeah.
So these sound like exams that people in the Bahamas need to pass to be able to matriculate to the university. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there
Hmm.
are levels. So the one I took was BJCs, which is a junior level, and BGCSE is senior level, is the last level before you get to college level, which would require you to either go abroad or get certificates here. So
Right, right. Okay.
yeah.
So after you graduated from the Salvation Army School for the Blind there, then what happened?
After I graduated, like I told you, I just went to working for myself. I usually go to uh Plaza in downtown, I think is where it is. Either it's downtown, I'm not sure exactly where, but it's in the southern western part of my island, which is the island of New Providence, Nassau, New Providence. You may have heard of that
Sure.
place.
Sure, a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
So um I go there and I play, and the people there who pass through, they love my playing, and so they're like, "Hey, you sound pretty nice. Let me give you something for what you're doing." And I put it towards things like an accordion. Like right now, I need an accordion, and I am working towards getting one. So
Oh, I
yeah,
see. So it's like you need a new accordion.
yeah, I
Yeah.
need a new accordion. Yeah.
A new one. Yeah, I see. I see. That's really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have your accordion with you, by the way? I'm just purely curious.
It's in the living room. It's not with me. With
Oh,
me.
that's all right. That's all right. Because I love hearing the accordion. I love hearing the music. Yeah. Well, that's really, really interesting. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, LeBron, is there like a society for the blind in the Bahamas? What, or I should say, what blindness organizations have you, contacted, been in touch with? Where have
Oh
you
yeah.
traveled? Talk about that for a bit. Yeah.
I have been a part of organizations
Hmm.
that cater to us, and it's really nice. One that I'm actually a part of right now is the Bahamas Alliance for the Blind and Visually Impaired, and they are a group of individuals that not only cater to us, but they try to give an approach to the wider audience of the Bahamas, which is really nice. And they show the audience at large that, hey, we're out here trying to get things done. And surprisingly, uh, the sighted people actually aid. And it's actually cool that, they give aid to us. They see what we're
Hmm.
doing, and it's really nice.
Well, that's interesting that they give aid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in what way? How do they give aid to your alliance, to the
Well,
organization? Like, how does that work? That
okay.
does not
If
necessarily sound always good. So, I mean, what do you mean?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm about to explain now. So what happens is the, for example, if you have a company that's, really, really making it, in other words, they're big in their finances. They see an organization like us needing assistance and trying to get something done. We show them proof that we're doing this. They actually help us. They would either have fundraisers, or they themselves would donate. It's actually kind of cool that they actually do this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you have a company like the company could say, we're going to donate X percentage of profits this week to this particular organization, to the, to the Blind Alliance, let's say. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it has to be done in advance so that they know exactly how much and where exactly to
Right.
fit this. So if it's a short notice thing, they won't be able to help.
But if it's like a pre-planned, like charitable
Exactly.
event, like a
Yeah.
concert or a major event,
Exactly.
right? Okay,
Yep.
exactly. Okay, good, good. You're right.
Mhm.
Well, that's really interesting. I'm in the Lions Club, by the way, so I'm sure you've heard a lot about the Lions Club, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are probably are clubs. I think there probably are Lions clubs in the Bahamas, right?
Um, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think we have that over here.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because when I volunteered in St. Lucia many years ago, there was a Lions Club in St. Lucia. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So,
well, I know about St. Lucia. I know about Jamaica. I have Jamaica. I actually have a Jamaican friend. He's from my school.
mhm.
Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I was gonna say I have a Jamaican friend. He's from my school. I have my math teacher that taught me math was from St. Lucia. So we
Mhm.
have a lot of Caribbean people here. It's actually kind of cool
Right,
because
right. Yeah.
we're all a part of the Caribbean, which
Oh,
is
I
a
noticed
nice
that.
thing.
Right. When I was
Yeah.
in Lucia, you would be meeting people and they'd say, I'm from this island. I'm from that island.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very common. Yeah.
Yep. This is it.
Well, that's really interesting. So LeBron, were you born in Nassau? Were you born on New Providence Island?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So what can you tell us about like growing up there though? I mean, like a lot of people are kind of curious about it. Like, what were some of your, childhood memories, growing up in Nassau? Hmm.
Um, there isn't really much to say. Um, the fact that I mean, I had good parents. They were really nice parents, but aside from growing up in and stuff like that, my childhood wasn't really much to talk about.
Okay.
Um, but all I could say is there was a lot of discrimination from people as to my blindness and stuff, and they wanted nothing to do with me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you have to get I personally would say when stuff like this comes about, you just have to, push through and show them better. And once they've been shown better, then things start working out because they're like, oh, this guy is actually worth something,
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Sure.
that's how I do it.
Yeah, understood. And
Yeah.
we have similar issues in the United States. It's certainly not the same as the Bahamas, obviously, but even in America, there's a lot of discrimination, just in very different ways. But there's still a lot of social issues and discrimination, just in a different framework. Yeah.
However, I could say that there is one major glaring point, like the hard eye glare just really raises its eyes at this one particular area that I'm pretty sure spans global, right? If we raise the employment area, like that really needs work in all walks of life. Employment is the hardest thing that most blind people struggle with. And I can tell you that because I did a internet research. If you look at countries like China, look at countries like Japan, it's very bad. Like they have it where blind people you either become somebody who massages people, or if you can't do that, then they don't want you to do anything else because they don't believe that you can. It's very sad.
Right, right. So sometimes there's these certain trades that blind people used to do, or these sheltered workshops, is what we would say.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. Which is very discriminatory and highly inappropriate. And I
Very
agree
much
with you,
so.
LeBron. Yeah. It dates back to a time frame where, and I'll tell you where it started in the States at least, right? It all
Mm-hmm.
began in the 1900s when employers were simply unwilling to hire anyone who was blind. And over time, governments and agencies and social workers said, well, look, we're going to force you to include the blind people in this type of setting, whether it's a sheltered workshop or a trade. And so what happened was they started to say, okay, we'll hire a blind person to do a trade and things like that. And so then what happened over time, in the United States in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even in the 1970s a little bit, blind people could be massage therapists, they could do piano tuning, and some other basic vocations, but those were two of the main ones. Nowadays, I can tell you that in the States, most people do not have pianos anymore. The other thing was in the United States, and I don't know, I'm not knowledgeable about it, but I don't know much about the Bahamas, but I can just tell you from my own country. In the 1900s, most families had a piano. Most children of the 1900s were forced to take piano lessons, and and most pianos were tuned by blind people. And this went on really forever. And if you're a blind person and you want to be a piano tuner, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. You actually could make a lot of money, with each piano. These days these days in America, you would probably make a lot of money tuning one piano. It's a trade there's not enough people doing it, so it's a very lucrative trade. However, what happened over time was as various, advocacy organizations, to which there are several, grew in authority, and when society changed and technology changed, and the landscape changed a lot in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I'm 34. I was born in 91, in July of 91. By the time I was born, blind people were working, in offices, and were doing, the normal stuff like we do now, But anyone who would have been born in the 80s or earlier would have been probably in those type of sheltered workplaces. So yeah, yeah. So still in the Bahamas, are there still a lot of blind people that do like learn a trade, or what seems to be the attitude in the Bahamas?
I think it's just like in the United States where, um, to be honest with you, in 2026, if you take a look at the blind population at large, many of them are homemakers. I just have to say it like that because it's the undying truth.
Hmm.
Even over here, like so much blind people are homemakers. Like they graduate from school, um, and they can graduate with whatever they graduate with, but they end up right back home. It's very, very sad.
Right, right. So if you're a lady, you might be able to find a husband or start a family, right? Like that.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if you're a man? Then what? Then
If you're a man, this is what I'm saying. Like I tell you, it's pretty much a petrifying point, right? Because if you're a man, you have to figure out how to do things, uh, because nobody, to be honest with you, is going to say, let me step in and take care of this person.
right,
So you
right.
basically have to, this is where independence comes in, and people who really don't want to, they want to rely on somebody to help them. But unfortunately, in this fast-paced changing
No
society,
worries. Uh-huh.
it's just, like you have to, if you don't have the knowledge, it's not going to be given to you. You have to take time to, uh, you have to take time out and be like, hey, where do I fit in society? What am I good at? You take a look at your talents and stuff, and how I feel you get the upper hand on the system when you start doing things people themselves can't do, and then they just be like, this guy, or yeah, this person is doing something that I can't do, so let me use them. And that's how you get the grip on society.
Sure, sure. So you have to
Hmm.
constantly prove yourself in
Yep,
society there.
that's
Okay.
how it is.
Right.
Remember now, you know it's a good way to think about society. Think of society like you're standing in a pool that's bottomless. So you continually have to tread to keep your head above water.
Understood.
In
Good
this fast,
analogy. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean obviously not right, but also at the same time you're also doing very well. I mean, you've made you're a very successful blind person there. You're obviously doing well, with your DJing and do you have like music on Spotify? Do you write your own music, LeBron?
No, I don't write my own music, and I don't write music at all. Um, I don't. I can produce, but I don't because of technology limitations as of current. My
Mm-hmm.
current technology that I'm using doesn't want that. It's not possible
Right,
with
right.
this. But
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure that when I get better tech, I will be able to.
right, exactly. I mean, the technology is getting easier and easier to use. I mean, look at what we're doing. 10
Right?
years ago, even 20 years ago, creating a podcast episode, two blind people creating a podcast episode for a global podcast, this would have been a major undertaking, let alone
Mm,
just being able to meet online, being able to say, oh, just come into the Zoom room. You know, all this Zoom software now is really, really spectacular for
mm-hmm.
doing these meetings now. Yeah,
This is it.
definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Because, back
mhm.
then, how it was done, when people needed to get their voice out there, you had to go in a studio.
Exactly. You had to go to a big
Mm-hmm.
radio. And in some regards, although podcasting is the media of today, about 20, 30 years ago, it was a big deal when you were called into a radio station. That was like exciting. Now, I would still
Right?
love to be on the radio today, but it's just less common. What people are turning to is podcasting. More and more people are turning to the podcast art and the podcast medium to get news and to connect with the world. And it's just being more and more it's just
Yeah.
becoming more and more common.
I
Absolutely.
love podcasting, because I have a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel has going on 40 subscribers now, and I opened that channel just last December.
Hmm.
Uh Late November, yeah. It's surprising because they like what I talk about. Like I do shorts. Everybody likes shorts these days. So I do shorts detailing, hey, this is what's going on, like motivational stuff. Like, for example, I'm gonna take one of my shorts I made and I'm gonna put it right here on this podcast. I was like, procrastination is a killer, right? Because if you continually saying that you're gonna do something and you don't do it, you're wasting your time, right? So you have to try and beat the odds and be like, if I'm gonna do something, let me do it. Let me not just say I'm gonna wait until the next day and the next day, because that can turn into a very long time.
You're
Yeah.
very wise. You're very wise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's correct. In other words, if you wait around enough, you've already lost the deal. If you wait around too long, the boat will leave. Ship
This is
ship
it.
the ship has sailed, we say. Yes,
Yep.
exactly. Exactly. Well, a little later today, we're definitely going to make a reel, you and I, and you can certainly, actually, why not? You could certainly use that reel. Yeah, I don't have any problem sending it back to you. Yeah. So anyway, that's really interesting, LeBron. I didn't know you had a channel. Well, we'll definitely get the Aaron's Opinion subscribers to subscribe to your channel for sure. Once you join my groups, to which I have several, you can share your channel, and you'll definitely get more people to come onto your channel and subscribe. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. So you do shorts, right? What else do you do on your channel?
Um, there's this program I opened up.
Okay.
I have to continue it. It's just like you, actually. It's called The Blind Perspective. It's really interesting.
Oh, so
Um,
you have your own podcast.
oh yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me? That's
Yeah,
wonderful, man.
no
That's so
kidding.
good.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Well, there's no need to be
Basically,
shy about it. Tell me all about your podcast. Tell me.
yeah. So we take a look at things that the sighted person, right? The sighted person can't even see these things. So that's why I call it the blind perspective, because if you're really not paying attention to these things going on around you, you wouldn't see them. Even if you're sighted, you would not see these things.
That
right?
is really cool, man. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
let's break it down though. Like really get under my skin. What's something that like really what's an issue that you have unearthed, unfolded, or like delved into?
Well, you like you like onions, right? Or what I'm trying to say is I gave you an onion just there, and now it's time to unveil the layers, right?
Okay.
But I'm not gonna unveil too much because it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to, lengthen anything. But I'm just going to say that, for example, right, you see a blind person, and this blind person in your eye, I'm going to I'm talking from a sighted person's perspective now. In your eye, this person uh is standing in your way because now you're just walking, and this person is trying to get to where he or she needs to go, but this person's using their cane, and you, as a sighted person in 2026, we know how they go. They're walking, but at the same time, their eyes aren't focused on what they're actually supposed to be focused on. They're using their smartphones while they're walking. So they walk right into this person's cane. And this person's like, can't you see where you're going? Like, I'm trying to get by here. And the sighted person's like, well, you should keep your cane to yourself, which of course you shouldn't, because you're supposed to use that to get around. And so this is where the blind perspective comes in, right? What did that sighted person, what didn't that sighted person see? That sighted person didn't see the blind person because they were too busy engrossed in their smartphone instead of paying attention to what they should have been paying attention to.
That's really interesting. Yeah, and
Self-explanatory,
that's a
right?
really unusual perspective. So you're kind of almost noticing how oblivious and disrespectful sighted people actually are.
Exactly.
Yes, you know what? The same is true in America. Is the sighted people. In fact, sometimes the sighted people have become so disrespectful that I simply have to ignore it because the behavior in the United States can be so poor in public places that sometimes you just have to leave.
Yeah, I read Facebook posts and everything about that, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, okay. Well, okay. Just
Hmm.
yeah. Well, that's really, really, really fascinating. So, how long have you been doing your podcast, LeBron?
I just started when I opened up my channel last year, late
Okay.
November. Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure that after you join my Facebook group, the Aaron's Opinion groups on WhatsApp, the email list, I want to make sure that you know and you hear this that you need to post your episodes around my groups, and we'll definitely get because my global audience will definitely want to learn from you. And also, you know, although it kind of sounds a little silly and a little ironic, hey, a lot of people have never heard from anyone from the Bahamas, right? So there are some people that would love to hear from you. They would love to hear from your country. In American life, we don't hear from the Bahamas much, you
I would
know?
agree. And you know what else I do on my channel? I post Bahamian news every day.
Oh,
So
that's really
that's
interesting, man. Hey, that
yeah.
that remind you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of when I lived in St. Lucia, we would listen to RCI, Radio Caribbean International. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. Yeah. You listen to RCI, right?
used to,
Yeah. Yeah. It's really
used
cool.
to.
So for the listener or for the sighted person who's oblivious, our RCI is basically the way I would describe it is like a semi-regional news network, but only servicing the islands of the Caribbean, and the West Indies. So you would get a lot of programming and a lot of news and a lot of like cultural information only pertaining to the Caribbean. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And there's a lot of stories that come out of it, and there's a lot of people there, and on many many islands who need a lot of information. So it's pretty
Very
cool.
much so. Yeah.
Yeah,
They talk about the various diverse cultures of these islands too. It's really nice.
I love talking about that. By the way,
Yeah.
I love. By the way, I love talking about the history and anthropology and the history of people and how people got to the Caribbean and how different Creole languages developed and things like that. I love talking about that because I
Yeah,
speak
it's
English
very
and
fun.
French, by the way. Yeah. Hmm.
I speak English and Spanish. Those are
Right. I
my
think I
language.
do remember you mentioning that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's super good. There are several other native Spanish speakers in the Aaron's Opinion family too.
Oh, really?
Oh, sure. So
That's
if you would just join my WhatsApp groups, you can talk to them and maintain your Spanish. They would love that. Yeah.
that is insane. That's beautiful. I love it.
Well, that's cool. Why did you learn Spanish, LeBron?
Ah, a school
Hmm.
curriculum that was taught.
Right. So did Spain ever colonize the Bahamas? I'm really oblivious to it. Did Spain ever colonize the Bahamas, though?
Um, no.
Oh, okay.
But what happened was we had interactions though,
Hmm.
where back in the 1900s, 1800s, when they had the wars going on,
Right.
they took over the island for a time to use the cannons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
believe you're probably talking about Fort Charlotte. There's many, many, many.
Yes, thank you so
You know
much.
what's really weird about that? I don't know how I remembered that. When I was 14, so about 20 years ago, 20, but each
Two
year
decades ago.
each year I get older, I notice that I get older, each
Hmm.
because the numbers start getting bigger and bigger each year. It's like, what's going
This
on?
is it.
20 years, 10 years, 20. I'm not
Hell,
sure.
I'm gonna be 20 this year, so that's actually fascinating. I can't believe it.
That is even weirder for you. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, basically before you were born,
Basically.
my parents and my brother, we took a cruise, from a company that we don't need to name drop, but you know what the company is. We took a cruise and they stopped at, Nassau. And actually, that was my first experience walking around in a foreign country. Was your country actually? Was the first time I ever walked in another country. Um,
Beautiful.
but I oddly recall that the cruise company offered a tour of Fort Charlotte, so my father and I did it. And you walk around and you see the ancient fort there, and yeah, yeah. I always like
Wow.
to think, although you're going to correct me and say I'm confused. I always like to think hundreds of years ago, it must have been kind of nice in the Bahamas, especially in the dry time and. On a nice day, it must have been really magical hundreds of years ago without all the struggles of today. That must have been magnificent hundreds of years ago.
Mm,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say because I read the histories and stuff,
Yeah.
and back then really wasn't the best time.
Right. Well, right now really isn't the best time either. There's no really best time. It's just the time that it is or the time that you live.
Well,
But,
true.
mhm,
This is it. But
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Really cool. Yeah. So like so what other historical topics interest you? Because I love geeking out about history.
Um, I often like it's you know what I used to do in my school? We used to talk about how the first humans, like
Hmm.
when they would invent these stone tools for the hand
Hmm.
to help them in their hunting and gathering of different materials and stuff.
Absolutely.
I was like, this is interesting. And you know what was really fascinating about the whole ordeal? When we go back to the time where currency didn't exist, I was like, this is how they did it, right? So if I had corn and you had meat, I don't have any meat, but you have meat. And you need my corn. So I'll give you my corn for some of your meat. And that's how us humans were. And I was like, this would have been so much better if that same practice was carried into today because we didn't have to worry about having currency for exchange of goods and stuff like that because it would be a fair trade.
Indeed. It's an
Yeah,
interesting philosophical notion, right? What would have
yeah,
happened?
exactly.
What would have happened if currency had never developed, right? What would have happened? Well, I like to think that you are correct, and you are correct. And but and in a different way, if money had never developed, really, I don't think society would have gotten to where we are now without the development of other. In other words, if we had never invented money, we wouldn't have gotten this far. I don't
Uh,
think. So I think that's the problem. The intellectual kind of paradigm that you're trying to solve here, right, is
Mm-hmm.
why can't we just be happy with what we have, right? Why can't we ever reach a
True.
notion of technological or social equilibrium, right?
Exactly.
Well, I
Yeah.
wonder it too. But the intellectual answer or the other answer is, well, we as humans are creative and imaginative, so we never stop imagining. So
Hmm.
we never reach a point of social equilibrium.
This
That's
is it.
that's the point.
Yeah.
Or not only will we never reach a social point of social equilibrium, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we do reach a point of social equilibrium, then the thing that tends to happen after equilibrium is destruction, right? Then the society self-destructs. Well, we don't want that either. We see
We would
plenty of
have they
problems.
would have a cataclysmic collapse. We don't want that.
I suppose, nor am I trying to say, LeBron, that your idea is not a good one. It's an excellent idea and it's an excellent philosophical notion, right? You're correct to think, well, why couldn't we have just stuck with just bartering,
Yeah, bothering, yeah.
I'll give you, hey, I want, you need some paper, but I need some coffee. Well, I'll take your coffee and you'll take my paper, right? Or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is that it's the truest answer, I guess the least bad answer is, well, people's imagination developed further than desire. The imagination outgrew the shoes of desire, basically. It said, "Oh, I
Mm.
need a bigger shoe than that. I just can't get."
Jeez.
But in a philosophical way, it still exists a little bit. I mean, in many countries, in America, you can never do this except for one exception, and you probably know what it is. In most countries around the world, many countries,
Hmm.
you can negotiate when you buy things. Like if I want to say, if I go to the market in your country, you probably use East Caribbean dollars, right?
I use no, we call it over here Bahamian dollars. That's what we
Ah, okay, Bahamian
yeah,
dollars.
Bahamian
And
dollars.
I want to say it properly. Your nationality, you are Bahamian. Is that the
Yeah,
right?
a Bahamian,
You're
yes.
you're a Bahamian. Okay. We
Yeah.
in America we were always wondering, hey, what do you call someone from the Bahamas? We were never sure. I thought it was Bahamian, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So let's say that I go to the market and I want to buy something, and you say, "Oh, it's 100 Bahamian dollars," and I say, "Well, no, I want 90," and then you say, "No, give me 95," and then we agree at that. You can sort of negotiate in many countries, whereas we don't barter, but we can negotiate. In America, you generally cannot negotiate the price of anything except when you buy a car. When you buy a
Hmm.
vehicle, you negotiate, but not when you buy anything else. That's why
Strange.
it is. It is.
Strange.
There's just some weird economic laws that have been in place. But anytime somebody goes to a car dealership, well, it depends on the state you live in and the car and the people and the blah, blah, blah. But generally, the dealer has a minimum ticket value that they have to sell the car for. Okay, we'll tell LeBron, you got to sell that car for at least 30,000, right? But if somebody offers you better, take better, and then the salesman gets a cut and things like that. So
Estimate values.
right.
Yeah.
That's how that developed. Now, why it's done that way, I don't really know. But also there are some people that make a lot of money selling cars, and there are other people that make very, very, very little money selling cars. So it just depends, but I don't know. I think in some ways we associate too much value behind everything. We
Hmm.
think we're a lot more important than we actually are. But it's a very, very, very interesting notion.
For
But
sure, for sure.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, in your in the Bahamas, do they ever do things like, hold on one second, hold on. In in the Bahamas, is there ever such thing as like minimum wage that people have to be paid, or does it not work like that?
Yeah, 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 that exists.
Right. Okay. So how would you describe the way the Bahamian economy works?
The payment economy really isn't the best in terms of if you are the small man trying to make it, uh, you have to get help from a bigger person.
Right, right. So
That's
you
the
have to
best way
work
I
with
can
it.
put it.
Okay, so you would have to work with other people. So
Yes.
it's more of a collective thing.
Because
I
the
see.
minimum wage, you go to the store and the minimum wage has been expended. It's very sad.
So the minimum wage has not increased, in other words.
No.
So in other words, the people who work the stores may have made the same amount, right?
Or even more.
Ah, okay, okay. I see. I see. So, and are they, do you suppose they would be paid hourly, weekly? Like, how do they organize things there? Yeah.
Like I said, it's rough. Because it's not hourly, it's not weekly, but it's monthly, and it's very rough.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, monthly could be good as long as they pay the person the right amount on a set day of the month. I mean, that kind of is good in some ways. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um,
But if I tell you an estimate of the minimum wage, you'd be shocked.
well, tell me,
Under 300.
under 300 Bahamian dollars, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. So the answer is people have to work very hard there.
Very, very hard.
That's the answer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all very interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what does what is the historical word Bahamas? Like what does that word mean, Bahamas?
I am not sure. I didn't do a research on this as yet, but like you said, you will add me to these groups and such that you have. So when I find the meaning, I will get back to all of you about it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've interviewed other people from around the Caribbean over the years, off and on. Several Jamaicans have come in and out of the groups. Let's see. I talked to someone who was originally born in uh, what was it? Barbuda, I think. But yeah, that's all really, really fascinating stuff. Yeah. So yeah. So how many other podcasts have you been on, LeBron?
No, this is actually the first one.
Really, the
Yep.
first one.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. And when you have been, putting out your podcast episodes to the world, what have your, what has been the reaction from your audience about your
Uh,
podcast episodes?
I had a few people come. Well, these are for my shorts. My podcast episodes didn't get any comments.
Hmm.
But my shorts, I got comments like, oh, I didn't know. I wasn't viewing it like this. I wasn't viewing it like that. And that's why I say it's called a blind perspective because you can't view it because it's uh hidden. It has to be unveiled.
Right.
You can't
Absolutely.
view something that's hidden.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. Right. So yeah. Okay. And that is very, very interesting for sure. Yeah. How many episodes do you have?
Um, I only did an introduction episode, and the rest I dispersed in my shorts, so that people, because they like the shorts. Like I told you, people don't like watching things for longer than set amount of time. So I
Hmm.
said I'm gonna do it in shorts for right now until my audience builds and I can actually do something, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So I did it in shorts and they loved it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that is very interesting. I think people are really attracted to the shorts because they're short and they can provide a lot of information. It's a very good way to advertise something and things like that. So that is really good. Hmm.
Provide a lot of information in a short amount of time.
That's very
Mm.
powerful. Yeah, that's very 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 good. Yeah. Have you ever found like other YouTubers like from the Bahamas or other countries around the Caribbean that do similar things to you?
No,
That's
but
interesting.
I can tell you that um what inspired me to do this podcast is somebody took over here in Nassau where I am has a radio show. They took me on the radio show and I had a radio show with them. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast now because
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah.
That's really
So
cool.
I
And
have
what can you tell me about their show? That's really
I
cool.
have I have audio recordings of the show, so I guess I can share them with you all once you add me to the groups and such, so that you can hear me on the radio.
That's really cool. What station were you
Yeah.
on, man? That's really fun.
The station is Guardian Radio 96.9 over here.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And the context of it, was it just one of their DJs just wanted to interview you, or like what was it? Because radio stations can do many different things. So like what was the context?
It was talk radio, so they were talking about different conversations, and based on what they were talking about, I followed along and was speaking on what my views were
That's
and stuff.
excellent. That's
Hmm.
perfect. So were you like physically in the studio, or did you just
Yep,
kind of like,
I was
wow,
physically in there. Yeah.
that's cool, man. Oh, so
Hmm.
good. So good. And were the presenters, were they also blind or just sighted people?
Yes, I did.
That's really nice of them. That's really
Hmm.
excellent. See, because, and then, you know, you are correct that there are many issues with society, but then when you encounter and meet people who are really nice, and are kind and are doing the right thing, that's even more, that's even kinder. You know, that's even better when you see people that are doing the right thing.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah.
Wow. Well, ironically, I want to be put in touch with those people, so they should come to my show. I would love to interview. Seriously. Let's talk off air. I'm curious about that. Did you ever like maintain a relationship with them or stay in touch with them?
Yeah, I have the contact and everything. Yeah.
Oh, well, you should have never said that. Why did you tell me that? Because now the next sentence that's going to come out of my mouth is, well, you need to give me their contact.
Hmm.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, really good. Really good. So is their station like an internet station?
Yeah, they live stream every day
Okay. So
actually.
it's like, yeah. Okay. So what they're doing is it's a live, this is like really weird. It's odd, but it's kind of cool. They live stream on their social platforms. They probably have an internet stream for listeners online all over the world. And then they
Yep,
probably have a terrestrial line for people who are
for
driving around
people
the.
in
That is really
exactly.
powerful. Okay, I definitely want to give them a chance on Aaron's opinion because that's a lot. Because people who are in the radio industry are people like you who I want in my circle. I want them in my circle. Yeah, serious. I'm not joking. They are so welcome on Aaron's opinion. You know, absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool.
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah,
Well, good. Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in addition to talking to you, I just love the art of podcasting. I just love interviewing people because I've learned and I've noticed that people really, really do need to have conversations sometimes, you know,
And
about a variety of
the
things.
more people you interview, the wider your knowledge goes. You know,
That's true.
the more
That's also
wisdom you
true.
get.
And also,
And
the more you do over time, over years of doing it, you're able to give out more information to people. You say, "Well, I have
yep,
hundreds of episodes, hundreds of stories." You know, yeah,
this is
yes,
it. Yeah,
hmm right.
yep.
Well, that is really cool, man. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Oh, you know who you should talk to for sure? You know who would love to interview you? You know about UVC radio, right? The sound that binds us together, right?
I heard about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard.
You should I'll probably trade cards with you probably. I'll probably send you if you remind me later, I'll send you their card or their Facebook information. You should definitely get in touch with them. They would love to do a long form interview with you and get you on one of their shows. I don't always listen to their programming, but they have a global audience too.
Okay.
Yes, it was created originally by a man, I think from Jamaica, who I've interviewed, and then another man from St. Lucia, who I've also interviewed just individually on the show. But then together they created this whole like company, UVC United Vision Connect, and I mean, they have presenters from all over the world there. So actually, they would love to have you as a correspondent, probably because they always need to further, further your knowledge and things like that. Yeah. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Well, that is some really cool stuff. Yeah. Okay. Good. So you've done a radio show. Yeah. Do you so what else do you do? It's like the more I talk to you, the more I discover how much of how many different great things you do. So what else do you do?
I play, like I told you, I play the piano. I play for my church.
Oh, that's
Um,
really good.
yeah, it's really nice. I play for
Uh-huh.
the choir and whatever services they have. They need me
Mm-hmm.
to play for, I play for them. It's
That's
really
very,
nice.
that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
so good. Now, do you go to church often?
Yep.
Good, good. But by the way, I happen to be a Jewish guy, but I think it's great that you go to church, and I think that's important to have have the connection. It's a great way to meet people and things like that, and to know
Yep.
what's going on in the neighborhood and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hmm. Really, really, really good. So, you mentioned how there's like an organization that helps, like an advocacy organization for the blind people there. So do they ever do like conventions or meetings or meetups for the blind people to meet up?
Yeah, they do meetups and stuff. And what's really cool is um they they take everybody's birthday into consideration because whenever it's someone's birthday, something special is done for that person, whether it's a get together or
Hmm.
we sing for that person or whatever. They make everybody feel special and welcome. It's really
Oh,
nice.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of try to help people feel special and welcome every day of the year, not just on their birthday.
I know it's not just on their birthday, but uh,
you know, it-
mhm.
they should be nice. I think they should be nice every day of the calendar year,
I
including
agree.
birthdays.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, that's so what are some special things they've done for people like on birthdays? Yeah.
So they send out like motivational stuff. They send out
Okay.
birthday cards to said person and stuff like that. And usually, if there's like multiple people's birthdays happening at once, we would do a big party, like a big physical party
Mm-hmm.
for everybody on that for the month or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So how do
But
they use? Yes. Go ahead.
usually get-togethers don't usually happen all the time because everybody may be busy and everybody's schedule is, so you have to make sure that everyone's available before
Mm-hmm.
they can say do something.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. That is reasonable, right? And so, like, how would they celebrate a birthday there? Like, what passes for a celebration? What do they usually plan?
So um they either have like karaoke nights where we would like sing and stuff like that, and um we have game nights where we play games with each other, physical games like
Hmm.
dominoes, board games, stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. Yeah. Um, it's really nice.
It
The
is really
whole
nice.
interaction is nice. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. Yeah, Domino's is a lot of fun. So they would like have like table games or like entertainment like that. Yeah. Hmm.
Yep. And even like trivia, like asking you
Oh,
things.
I'm good at that.
Trivia is really, really nice. Yeah.
That can be really fun. You can learn a lot of weird, random stuff from trivia.
Yep.
Hmm. Right. Right. Hmm. Right. Right. Okay, good. Good. That is some really good stuff. What is one point of trivia that you could teach me about the Bahamas? Like one weird fact that I wouldn't know that you would have to teach me about your country.
Um, if there's one thing I could say, um, Junkanoo, do you know about Junkanoo, right? Have you heard about
No.
Junkanoo? Okay, so Junkanoo is a festival where people get together and we dance to music that's played where they use goatskin drums and wind instruments. They march
Hmm.
on the street and we dance to it. And we're in costumes.
Mm.
And this is usually done every Christmas and going into the new year. That's the
Okay.
usual celebrations. So for the
Interesting.
holidays, basically.
Hmm. Interesting. That kind of
Uh,
reminds me of Carnival in St. Lucia.
yeah, but Junkanoo is more native to the Bahamas.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. So it's like the Bahamian version of so it's like Carnival but just for the Bahamas. Hmm.
Yep. Exclusive to the Bahamas. Yes.
when I volunteered in Lucia, I actually went to the carnival and saw, like, went to one of the main shows with the different bands and different performers, and I've actually seen it in the stadium in person. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it's very interesting, very interesting.
That's nice.
Yes, very entertaining, and it's good because it gets people out of the house, gets them into the stadium. It's very entertaining for them. Right. Yeah. Do you play cricket in the Bahamas?
No, we don't play it, but um, what I do play is something called beat ball. Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever heard about that?
Vaguely. I have vaguely heard of that. What can you tell us?
So essentially what it is where you have it's like baseball, but the ball beeps. So when the ball goes to the base
Right.
and everybody has to run down the field to get it, whoever gets the hand on it, uh they're the one to, get that score or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
hmm
Absolutely. Yeah. Good. Good. Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very fun game.
Yeah, I think they even have like a beat ball World Series, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Which that would be pretty interesting. I think it's played in the United States.
Oh, that's nice. Right
I'm
in
not
your
sure
country.
when or where, but I've heard of it. I've heard that there is a World Series behind it. Yeah, and that
And then I heard about this other game called Goal Ball, but I never played.
I've
So I
heard of it
can't.
too. I only played it one time. It's sort of like one second. I would say that goal ball is like kind of like soccer, but you kind of roll. It's kind of hard to describe, you see. And I never really played it, but it's like soccer. Similar to soccer, similar to a lot of other sports, right? It's very popular. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, yeah, in your country, does anyone play goal ball?
No.
Yeah, because you would have to have a team and enough people and things like that. That's a little harder, but yeah. How did you get into beat ball, by the way?
They had camps that I went to in
Oh,
person.
okay. And
I
now
guess
were
it
the
was
camps in your
famous.
country or overseas?
Yes, yes, it was in my country.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Right over here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow. And how long were those camps?
Like a month.
Mm,
2 weeks
okay.
to a month was the usual time frame.
Mm-hmm. And it was like, how old were you when you went to those 2 week or month-long camps?
Um, I was like 15, 16. Yeah,
Hmm.
15, 16.
Right, right. So you were significantly younger. Yeah.
Very much so.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. And how did you find out about these camps?
Um, Somebody in the Bahamas Alliance for the Blind and Visually Impaired, um, they were talking about it, and then the Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities over here, uh, launched the camps.
Hmm. Right. Right.
And so he called persons to the stand, and I was one of them.
Okay. Wow. Well, that is really really interesting. Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah, in America, it varies. All blind people have very different experiences. It's heavily based on what state you're from, the setting where you grow up. There's a lot of different experiences that somebody could have. So, yeah. But for me, I grew up in the countryside. So I never really lived in urban settings until I got older. So, yeah.
I got you.
So it all depends. And I never really became connected as much as I am until I started podcasting about 6 years ago. So yeah. I started the podcast during the pandemic.
Ah, okay then. Then that's understandable.
Right. So, but my whole life, even in the decades, when I was growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, my whole life has been kind of fixated around audio. Either my parents were reading a book to me when I was very little, or I would listen to the radio when I was a little older, or I would listen to podcasts as they became more prevalent. I mean, it wasn't really until the mid 2000s, like 2009, 10, 11. It wasn't really until that time frame when podcasting really took hold. And it hasn't been, and only very recently has podcasting become such a big global issue, you know, because now it's a lot easier. The barrier to entry has really shrunk. So really anyone can get involved. So that's
Understood.
why
Yeah.
that's the difference. Before other forms of media, you had to be important, or you had to go through training, or you had to go through a schooling, or you had to know the right people. But with podcasting, you just have to know what to say. You just have to talk. So that's why there's no barrier to entries anymore with this, which is why I tend to say that podcasting is great for everybody, yet especially blind people, because there's no barriers to entry.
Nope. And it's all audio.
Well, and video too. Yes, this is also a YouTube video for later. Yeah, but ultimately, yes, that's true. There's no barriers to entry, and really anybody can get involved. So that's why it's just a really positive media form. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Okay. Good. Good. Hmm. Do you, so if you don't mind me asking, like, do you live alone? Do you live with like friends? Like, how do most people in your country live? With friends, family, roommates? Like, how do people live there?
Usually with family.
Usually
Usually.
with a family, right?
Yeah.
Right. So do you live with your family or do you live like
Yes,
just
I
on
do.
your, good. Excellent. Okay. Do you want to maybe tell us a little bit more about that? Maybe about living there or like what it's like?
Um, Not gonna say much, but
Okay.
all I'm gonna say is that um, who I live with, the experience is nice. It's a good experience.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. That works. That works. I also love talking about food, by the way. Food is one of my favorite topics to talk about, right? So when it comes to food, what are some of your favorite foods down there? What can you tell me about the culinary culture of your country?
We cook a lot of chicken. I
Mm-hmm.
can say that much.
Right.
Um, and anything that we eat usually goes with rice. Rice is our staple food.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
So
usually it would be chicken and rice, fish and rice, something with rice. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah. If you go to like Nassau, are there any like restaurants from other countries or is it just like Caribbean food?
Nope, we have restaurants from all over.
Oh,
We even
okay.
have we have Chinese restaurants, we have Japanese.
Oh, I love
We
Japanese food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Japanese food is nice.
Hmm.
Um, we also have Jamaican restaurants. We even have I don't know if you've heard about Haiti or Haitian
Hmm.
culture, but we even have their food here.
Okay.
Like I
Okay.
said, this island may be small, but it's very, very diverse in cultures. The cultures
Mm.
just get mixed. It's
That's
nice.
really that's really delicious and really good. So what is your
Hmm.
favorite food, by the way?
In terms of what, uh, country wise, like where it's from,
Either like in terms of the country's food that you like or certain just meals that you really love. Yeah. Hmm.
um, I would say my favorite food is Chinese food. I like Chinese food.
Uh-huh. What's your favorite Chinese meal?
Combination fried with rice.
That's super good. I also love that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
that's
there's a
nice.
Thai, there's a Thai place, a Thai restaurant near my home, and I also love fried rice too. Yeah,
Y-
fried rice is delicious. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You can also add chicken to fried rice, and then it's even better. And or
Yep.
and or to make
Chicken.
it even better, you could do like jerk chicken, like from Jamaica. Man, that is great. That is
Mm-hmm.
so delicious. Jamaican jerk chicken with that nice sauce, and then the rice. Oh my gosh! And then maybe
It's
some
really nice.
fruit.
Yeah.
Delicious. Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. definitely. Well, that's really good. All right. One moment. So we have come to the part of the show where I always like to turn the microphone around in the other direction, and I always like to say, so LeBron, what are some questions you have for Aaron Richmond, Aaron's opinion? What do you really want to know about me? Ask all your questions.
Um, so a question that I do have is, were you inspired to do podcasts from other podcasters, or did it just come to you?
The best answer is a little bit of both. So I again, like I said, I was raised always listening to things. So my whole life has been listening to other people talk, listening to books, listening has been my life. I've always loved doing it. And people always told me, Aaron, you got to be a talk show host, Aaron. You have such a personality for it. You love talking. You won't shut up. So over time, I developed this, persona, this personality for it. I think around 2020, I was really looking for strong podcasters around the blindness community, but I just felt that there really were not podcasters who were open to my opinions. And as you can tell, I have very specific opinions that I love to share. So I wanted to create a space where you, LeBron, is able to come to the podcast and share what you need to share. So that's kind of why I did it. I'm inspired because I enjoy creating audio. I enjoy creating conversations for others to listen to, but I also feel that it's doing the right thing. It's helpful. It's helping people in a positive, good way. So yeah, that's kind of the why behind it all. Yes.
Okay, then. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else?
So, um, the groups that you were talking about earlier, like,
Mm-hmm.
are they active? Like,
Extremely.
okay, wonderful.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Yes. So once I send you over to those a little later, you can post your YouTube channel there, and you will definitely notice that your audience goes up, and that more people notice, and that more people interact with you for sure. Yes. Hmm.
So do you guys post voice messages in the groups and
In the
stuff?
WhatsApp group,
Yeah.
absolutely yes. And I
Okay,
love it when people send
good.
voice messages, and you can talk to
Oh, me
everybody and
too.
have global conversations because we
Yeah.
have people from all the countries. So, because over
Okay.
the years I've interviewed a lot of countries, so your audience will be global once you're in the group. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Many of those people, like I said, several of them, not all, but several do speak Spanish like you. Many speak other languages or English, or many are from different parts of the world, right? So you never know who will be the next person to comment on your videos. You never know, right?
Yeah, this is
Hmm.
beautiful.
It truly is. Truly is. All right. Well, what other questions are on your mind, LeBron? What are some other things you want to make sure my audience knows?
Um, I'm trying to make sure that I have put everything out there based
Hmm.
on what I've been saying. Um, um, all I can say is that I will be doing a lot. So, um, those of those people who really wish to come to the Bahamas and such,
Hmm.
they'll have a good time. I'm saying that over here is really nice if you do come, and you'd have a good time if you come here. Because, like I said, like with the food and everything else, it's a melting pot of cultures. It's really
Right.
nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or at very least, I know that if I do go there, I can eat fried rice, combination fried rice.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I had to ask this. So does the Bahamas have a beer? Because I love a great beer with a great meal.
Yes, actually, we do have our own beer that we make over here.
Oh, what is it called?
It's called Sans beer.
Okay. So that's your lager, your national beer would be that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's
Very
us.
good.
Yep.
Yeah. I recall that when I lived in Lucia, it was Piton. was there. They had like their own local beer there too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting because almost every country has a beer, and it's a way to experience the culture. You can learn about the culture, the flavor, the history behind it all. That's very, very interesting. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
also another one called Kalik. It's a alcoholic drink that we have here too.
Oh, really? What's in that? Like, what is the drink?
I'm not sure how
Mhm.
they make it, but I know that I think it's a type beer. I think that's what it is.
It might be like a beer mixed with something else.
Yeah, I think that's what it
Yeah, I know
is.
what you mean. That's really good.
Yeah,
That can be really good. If it's done properly, that can be really, really good. Really good.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, the other thing that people would probably want to know, right, is if somebody wants to get in touch with you, LeBron, how could you be reached? If somebody from all over the universe wants to get in touch with you and learn from you, how can
I
you?
I would I I would say you could reach me through my number, um, and also through my email,
Hmm.
and you can also look at my YouTube channel. So I will give those in succession of order. So my number, I can give it here because I don't mind who texts me. I don't mind. Um, so it's +1 242 465 1561, and I will repeat that. It's +1 242 465 1561, and my email is LabronMinnis@gmail.com. And my YouTube channel is DJ TEETIS DJ Titus Vibes. If you type that in YouTube, it would come up. You would be able to look for it and see it.
Right. That is very, very interesting. And we will definitely be posting all those things and things like that. So that's good. We will certainly add that to the description. Absolutely. All right.
And we will I'll send those same things. Well, when I'm added to the groups and such, I'll
Absolutely,
put
you
those
can.
in there too.
Please
Yeah.
do that. Please do it.
Hmm.
Okay, man. Well, look, don't hang up. I want to talk to you for another 30 seconds. LeBron, it's been an honor and pleasure to have you on the show from the Bahamas. I wish you a wonderful, safe, healthy, and happy day down there. And of course, until next time, everybody, be well, keep podcasting, and don't forget and always remember, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.
See you guys later.